What's going on? It's Lack of Lepers again. Let's do another episode here. Yep.
He was like, awesome, that's cool. Please, don't expect me to do it. So I enjoyed it. I don't think I did much. I didn't fuck anything up real bad, so.
Let's talk about being an administrator.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you did what you needed to, really.
Yeah, and
sometimes all a leader needs to be is just a strong figurehead.
Yeah, and especially at the time, it was sort of.
Yeah, so these days in the SCP Wiki, we get the exact opposite. We get very, very poor figureheads. For example, by the way, Bright, Admin Bright, we don't have to go into the details of him, why he's not a good leader. He's gone now, so thank God. But, he was banned eventually for 6 months. And, of course, that time has now expired. So technically, he could still join the SCP Wiki if he wanted to, scot-free, not the staff. But Bright was banned. His official reasoning for being banned on the anti-harassment thread was that he weaponized the disciplinary process to bring misinformation and accusations based on misinformation to an individual, to a personal enemy out of a personal vendetta and a entirely baseless pettiness, really. So that is exactly what happened with Dexanote, with Dr. Everett Mann, with Dr. Magnus. And yet these people are still on the staff. They're still administrators. They're still doing their things. And on top of that, they're currently, by their own belief, rewriting the entirety of the charter and all policy, basically, before they think, and as they're telling others, before they can possibly discipline Dexanote, Dr. Everett Mann, and whoever else, even though they already did the exact same thing to Admin Bright for the exact same crime, and Admin Bright was an administrator as well. And actually, Admin Bright was on the anti-harassment team, so there's that. But anyway, so nowadays, the point being is that we have the opposite. Instead of strong figureheads as leaders who don't really have a whole lot of extra stuff to do simply by being given a role like that, we have people who are very weak figureheads who try to do way too much, and that's just a clinical diagnostic as to where the SCP Wiki is and just how poor it's gotten.
Arms and different divisions and all this kind of stuff. It was a little bit easier to keep things running at that point. So
that's true.
Anyway,
much less responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. I think with that we can go ahead and move on to the sort of last section of the timeline, the future.
Few change.
Okay, well,
yeah.
What are your plans? What are you doing? What's going on over there?
I'm sitting in the closet talking to you right now. What are my plans? What am I doing right now? Well, I got 4 kids.
God dang, dude.
2 of which have pretty severe autism, which is a challenge. So I'm a
4.
dad. My wife.
We just had our second, and I'm about to die. I love him, but my God.
She picks up dead people. For major viewers, there's no better way to put it. On her little lanyard, she's got a little coffin pin with a banner that goes around that says "Last Responder."
So, last responder.
Well, she went to school. She went in to train to be an EMT firefighter.
Cool.
And then she was a medical unit at something else, and then she's there. I'm like, you're just progressively dealing with easier patients.
Yep, that's the ticket.
No, she does that. She's enjoying it. It's tough, but so when I can find the time, usually when my wife's working late, and my eldest daughter is usually at school, or you work at a recital or seeing her friends or stuff like that. The kids go to bed. Put on some music, kind of get the atmosphere going, and all right. And that's generally how I can do it. Sometimes, every so often, it's with a 7-year-old trying to use me as a rocking horse, and it's like that's life. I'm going to try and
so hard.
This body horror short story with a 7-year-old.
It's so hard to do.
But here we are. You have to handle adversity.
So incredibly hard.
I'm hoping to write some more. I have been pushing stuff out, more or less. And do I have a moment to gripe? Can I air a brief grievance?
Sure.
As it were?
Absolutely.
Dropping back to problems with the site?
Jump in, my man.
Personal gripe.
Fucking rap, man. I love this shit.
So one of the things that apparently people didn't know, and I didn't know, other people didn't know, I write creepypasta. I write short stories a lot.
For sure.
Several of them.
Sure.
And up until a very short while ago, that was a tab link on the wiki. And someone, I don't know who, and maybe I do, maybe I purposely forgot, I don't know. Someone or someone's made a decision that the creepypasta site, or the creepypasta collection, quote, wasn't interesting enough, or wasn't getting enough traffic. So
I wonder who made that decision. Do you think it was somebody, just a somebody on the site? Or do you think it was somebody on the staff? Do you think it was somebody on the staff who made that decision? Okay. Interesting. Talking about hands off, right? Yeah, why don't you just let the site be the site? Really the story of the SCP Wiki staff over time is its annexation of anything and everything on the site. They've completely bloated their purview and mission statement, and yeah, mission creep is the name of the game. I mean, they've stuck their tendrils into everything. They police upvotes. You can't. Your upvote doesn't count. Your downvote doesn't count if it doesn't meet particular parameters. Just amazing to see that happen. So, yeah, but just one way that they lost the plot, we could say.
The link, and now you have to look for it by tags, which is annoying as shit.
Yep.
That is super annoying.
I get it. I understand. I get it. Also, fuck you.
Exactly.
I worked hard on that stuff.
I know, man.
I get it. I was very polite.
They got no respect. They really don't. They really have no respect. I don't know. I mean, call it what you want. Call it just a religiously progressive attitude that can't tolerate anything that isn't within the Overton window anymore. I don't know. Call it a lack of roots, a lack of identity. Haha, isn't that ironic? An imbalance, political imbalance where you don't have any forces of conservatism or traditionalism that would like to preserve some of those things just because they're valuable in their own sake. That's completely gone. It's really gone into overdrive in that direction and well off of a cliff by this point. But yeah.
About everything, but also inside, it's like I'll be like, okay, I understand. I may not agree with it, but I don't necessarily like it. Meanwhile, in my head, fuck you.
Exactly.
It
exactly.
happens.
That's me. See, that's
how it works.
That's my superpower. Okay, is when you're not liked by anybody, I don't have to care about propriety. I really don't. It's really that would be just a brick around my feet and a rock in my pocket, because that's not really what I'm after. I'm gung ho on as hard hitting as I can be, and so I really don't care about that side of things. And it hasn't served me well in a commercial sense, obviously. The people who are doing creative things in the SCP sphere, they're a little pampered. They might not know how well they have it, because if you are agreeable to them, if you toe the party line, if you say the right things, if you believe the right things, if you shave off, file down all your rough edges in order to fit their shape, their cookie cutter shape that they want to press you into, then there are benefits of that. If you make a creative thing, you'll have people just shill it for you on their Twitters, for example, because it's something new. You have a show that is on par with, or in my opinion, vastly inferior to our own show. Something like Simply Creative People, I think, is far inferior to Conflict Call In or something that me and Harmony do together. But yet, it's automatic. It's automatic eyes, automatic views. If you're really against the zeitgeist, the cultural dogma, you really are given a pretty serious glass ceiling that it's very hard to break through. Once again, that's not the point of any of this, but it's nice. It's nice to be liberated in that way. And honestly, if you're going to do what I try to do, be in the position that I am, then that's the only way you can have it.
But with that, I was like, okay, I got to figure something out. And my eldest daughter, is a giant fan fiction dweeb. I have her username. I've threatened to reveal her.
That's funny.
On AO3, Archive of Our Own,
yep.
Which is apparently a really big site. I didn't know that, where she gets her fan fiction fix. Yeah. And she's like, hey, you should join that. Hey, you should do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I did. And I've been slowly shifting my general work, copying it over and putting it on AO3. So if you are listening and you are active on there, please go look at Dr. Gears 882. That will take you to my work generally. Have a fair bit of it transferred over. One of them being the novella that I accidentally wrote. I had a bad dream, and I wanted to write about it and turn it into a novella called The Dire Mother. Please read it.
Wow.
It's great shit. It's great shit. I will level with you. But there's some Lovecraftian stuff. It's very, very cool. I enjoyed writing it. I feel people should read it more. And did I start migrating out of spite? Why, yes. Yes, I did. So I do a lot with that. I just recently put out another SCP item, the first one in a long,
Yeah, I read that one. It was good. It was about the
494
squirrel.
Transformer.
Yep.
Again, go read it.
Just recently.
Not squirrel, transformer. You know what I'm talking about.
2 years ago.
Yeah, just recently.
It's good.
Which was stupid, but no.
It's way better
still-
than most stuff that shows
still
up
doing
there.
stuff
I mean, it's almost like they can't even recognize it anymore. I guarantee you. How much money you want to bet? How much multiversal dollars do you want to bet? Alternate universe money. If that SCP wasn't posted under Dr. Gears' name, and Dr. Gears knows this very well, how much you want to bet that it would have been deleted? How much you want to bet? And then how much you want to bet at the last second before that deletion timer clicks down? If it was revealed that it was bright, how much you want to bet it would have shot up into the positives? He's fully aware of this. I think the article is great. I never would have downvoted it. But the community, yeah, they don't have principles, man. It's all about who's writing.
Hoping to put some more stuff together. I probably have 3 or 4 short stories sitting on my desktop looking me in the face right now. And what is probably going to turn into another novella of another bad dream that I had. And if you read The Young Man, you're probably going to be like, hey, yo, I recognize some of this stuff. But definitely kind of, I intended maybe for a wider audience. So,
A lot of shadows here tonight. Leaning back
yeah, right
in
now
my
I'm just
chair.
sitting trying to make my way through.
Sorry I don't have a nicer shirt
trying to-
on tonight. I just
trying to
don't
muffle
care.
over.
After this week, I just
A
don't
link
care.
to that AO3 account will, of course, be in the description, along with a
Yeah,
link to
I saw
Dr.
that.
Gear's author page on the SCP Wiki, where you can find all the other articles we talk about. I should say that.
There you go. Very good stuff.
Yeah, but I highly recommend you guys check that out.
Yeah, no,
Unfortunately, I've not
absolutely.
read it
Please,
yet, but I'm
please
very
do
excited
it.
too.
It's very cool. Don't leave. No,
Honestly,
keep listening. Keep listening. But
Oh yes,
open
we're not
some
done. We're not
tabs.
done.
Open some tabs. Check them out later. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be waiting for you. It'll be waiting
It's
for
not
you.
going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
But honestly, like, I remember finding it out. So it's kind of weird to reiterate
Yeah, we're kind of going over
my
some
surprise.
of this again. It's like, oh wow, really? You know, it's kind of rehashing.
Yeah, like on the original interview, I was like, oh really?
Yeah, like you were
I was
like
I already know
legitimately
this.
like, what the hell? Like you were like legitimately confused, and it's like, I get it. It's fine.
It surprised me a lot. I couldn't believe it. Like you just Dr. Gears, the Dr. Gears has just been writing stuff and
It's
like
just
as
been
one
writing stuff
view.
this entire time. What the hell? And it's like, no.
Yeah, how did nobody know about this?
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
crazy.
just sitting back in the creepypasta archive, and occasionally shoot off a tale here. I think if I remember, I just did a tale not long ago about one 682. Actually, a couple of researchers talked about 682, like just recently. Oh, okay.
Really?
Not recently. Like probably. You gotta bear with me. I don't know. Recent in
Look,
my
you're starting to get that old time starts to kind of shift a little
Listen,
bit, you know.
listen here, sonny boy.
That's right.
I'll show you where it's at. I
That's
don't know
pretty
why,
funny.
I don't know why I turn into a hillbilly when I get old, but it seems to happen.
Oh gosh, we see
I guess
how
you
it's gonna
lose
go.
your teeth or something.
That's how it's gonna be.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, I am.
Pretty funny.
That's the problem. I grew up in Bumblefuck nowhere. My
It's a nice
neighbor's name was
place.
a field.
Heard good
Man.
things.
So I was in the middle of nowhere, so I guess I can buy that. So.
Okay, well, yeah. Let me ask. Do you like? So you're hoping to write for the wiki once again. Do you have any like explicit plans? As far as that goes?
I have some ideas. I'm working with a couple of people on some ideas here and there.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much stuff just yet because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of embryonic. But at the same time, I've written
Great word.
and helped write. God knows how much. People will be like, "Hey, let's talk about," and I'm usually willing to sit and kind of like natter and just yammer about stuff.
Natter.
Being on a podcast.
Good word.
But it's like people come to me
Great
like an
vocab.
idea or something like that, or just want to kind of shoot the breeze. It's like, oh, let's get an idea. Let's do something. And we just kind of spitball stuff together, and all of a sudden, we have stuff. Got a few ideas, got a few processes. Like I said, I got several. It's occasionally I wonder, it's like if I outgrown the wiki. I think no, I haven't. It's just there's so much content, there's so much there. It's like I don't want to do something that's just sort of rehashing what's already there. I want to do something that adds. And
Man, if you just rehash something that was already there and put something out totally mediocre, I mean, you'd be fitting right in.
and bring something new to the table, bring something new to the discussion, which makes it hard, especially when you have a lot of content already there. But I have a few
like
things.
thousands of articles.
Yeah, thousands of articles and tens of thousands of tales and all this kind of stuff. It makes it difficult. That being said, I'm kind of getting over that hurdle to a certain extent. I have a couple of things. I have a mostly complete. I have several stories. A couple to deal with the church, a couple to deal with Marshall Carter and Dark.
Cool.
A couple of ideas, a couple of different processes and such.
Cool.
That may turn into items or something like that. So I have stuff on the percolator off the back burner that I'm hoping to bring around. Nothing I really want to go into because one of the problems down through the years is I get really good ideas and I get really gung ho about them and I present them out and I get people excited and man, I just vanish.
You ghost them, my
years
man.
Later, and it's like, dude, that was the
Wiki
Black Queen
ghost
canon.
them.
I didn't mean for that shit to happen. And
Oh, yeah.
I biffed off for a while. I came back and be like, wow, look at all
Biffed.
this shit. This is great. It's like,
Gosh.
holy, what? What the hell happened in here? I was just screwing around, and like there's a whole thing now, which is good ultimately. But it's you know, I got a lot of ideas. I don't want to go into too much like actual concrete stuff, mainly because I don't know how it's going to go, and so I don't like accidentally get someone's hopes up. And it's like, you motherfucker, you did this again. I was hurt by you again. But no, I definitely do have stuff going, and I think I'm gonna, you know, the wiki's my home. You know, the foundation is my home.
Oh.
Even if, you know, by some fucking miracle, some, you know, dark genie sort of thing, I become some big important author, I will always put my stuff on the wiki first, even if it doesn't make sense. Unless I'm ashamed of it or I'm using a pen name, then all bets are off. But nevertheless.
See, I bet you he has used a pen name, and I bet you he hasn't had a lot of success with that. But, that's, I believe Dr. Gears when he says that. When he says that he actually cares about the SCP, you know, wiki, above himself, I actually believe that. You know, I don't believe that with any other person on the staff. Certainly not at the higher echelons, the people who are actually causing these things to happen and have the final say and have all the decision-making powers, and they get the influence as well. You know, the entirety of the wiki staff particularly is completely broken. You know, none of it is legitimate anymore. And if there was any legitimacy left before the Cerastes incident, and how we've seen them react to that, you know, once again, Dexanote being really excused for the same thing that Bright did. The only difference is that Dexanote admitted it. And the funny part about it is that Dexanote advocated censure for himself. They banned Bright for this, you know, for 6 months, but he couldn't return to staff. It's just so funny how different that changes depending on who it is. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you know, principles don't have expiration dates. They're not principles. They don't pivot. Principles don't pivot depending on who they're directed at. So it's safe to say that the people on the staff are principle-less. They're moralless. They don't have anything underlying anything. They're completely broken, and they're completely about themselves. They are not at all about the wiki, and so that's one of the reasons why Dr. Gears wouldn't fit in anymore. It's because his style of actually caring about the wiki first is out of style.
Anything of mine, I'll put on there, regardless. Just because that's what you do. That's home. That's where I put everything. So,
Yeah.
You know, definitely still, you know, kind of chugging along with stuff. Definitely have some stuff in the works. You know, if you're
Awesome.
You know, hopefully people notice. You know, number get bigger, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be very excited to see what you make. I know I am extremely excited.
Yeah,
Cannot wait.
And that is encouraging. Also, if you just by the by, if you hear swallowing sounds, I don't have beer. This is an energy drink that I probably shouldn't be drinking anyway. Just by the by, you know, I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. So no.
Oh no! You gotta keep your throat wet.
Watch out for your kidneys, my man.
Gotta keep it lucid.
Those energy drinks. I'm just saying. I'm not. That wasn't a jab.
But yeah,
I'm just saying.
Again, I'm gonna be around until people kick me out.
I think you only have one kidney left, don't you? I mean,
well, great. I can
watch out for those energy drinks. My God.
I know you talked about this briefly before, but what about offsite content?
Offsite content. You know, AO3, check it out.
Yep.
Dr. Gears 82, check out my stuff. Check it out.
Yep.
Offsite content. I have some. There is a little bit floating around. Probably nothing I admit to, honestly. I have.
What about plans for future offsite content?
I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to. That's when the writing the Dire Mother. I did not intend that to be as long as it did, and I actually fought pretty hard to keep it as short as it ended up being. It probably would have been bigger. And kind of doing that showed me that I can do a little bit longer stuff. So my hope is that, you know, as I move forward and progress, I'm hoping to take some of my stuff that isn't quite, because the foundation is great, but again, if you're not in the cosmology, it's sometimes difficult to sort of breach in. So bringing some stuff that may be a little bit more accessible, maybe not exactly connected to the wiki, and seeing, you know, if it'll go somewhere else, see if it'll do something else, see if, you know, what we can do with it. I know I have a series of short stories on the Wanderer's Library called The Book of Error. I don't know if anybody knows that, and I don't think I brought that up last time.
No.
It's sort of a steampunk fantasy setting.
Interesting.
That I did many, many years ago, and one of my friends, who's a big RPG dweeb, read it and thought it was a really cool setting, and ended up kind of cobbling together a RPG system for like tabletop gaming, like based on that sort of thing. It's become like a really big deal in my little friend circle. So there's
Man, just
usually some muttering, vague talk of doing something with that.
he just the good stuff. Just like the guy just like flakes off. Paradigm shifts. It's just Dr. Gears.
I started work, again accidentally, on a sci-fi, science fiction kind of story, something or other, that I'm still kind of plinking away at now and then. So there's a fair bit of stuff. As we move forward, it's probably gonna, I'm probably gonna throw stuff on AO3, and then if it gets published, I guess, I don't know, I'll post a link or be like, dude, I made it into something. I made a thing, and trumpet it around. But ultimately, it just comes around to pushing it out there. I've tried a embarrassing amount of times to try and get myself to actual like web magazines or even hardcover magazines. I've been shot down enough times that the number can drink. I'll say that.
Yeah. I remember seeing this in the early days, in the early forum posts of the SCP Wiki. Dr. Gears was talking about it, and I remember checking out the publication he was talking about. I think he was too good for it, but I remember him sharing that he didn't get it, and it was kind of a bummer. Everybody was rooting for him, obviously, so it was nice to see that support.
That is amazing. Which is, it's like, all right, it's kind of good. I'm just gonna go, cry. Really
That's rough.
Hard. It's hard, but again, it's what you have to do. You kind of just have to keep throwing it at the wall until it sticks. So I'm gonna keep doing that. And ultimately, I would be writing this stuff whether I was getting, I'm writing it now. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting anything for it beyond just enjoying it. So I'm just gonna keep doing that.
Right. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, and that is one of a brief aside. That's one of the things. And again, if you, I don't know how much you know of my personal saga, you, the listener out there, but a couple of years ago I was diagnosed with cancer, kidney cancer. It was actually pretty advanced.
Yep.
They had to take out my left kidney, which sucked really bad.
Yep.
And doing much better now. Need to get into the doctor to get checked out. As my wife was changing jobs and lost insurance for a little bit, which is a hiccup in the thing, but still doing okay.
That's good.
But there's a thing that happened. For about probably 3 or 4 years before this happened, I've had writer's block like you would not believe. I just couldn't put anything together. I had a lot of trouble, a bunch of different things, just couldn't get things together. And after the surgery, just hunky-dory. Been having ideas, a lot more ease. And it's
a brush with potential death might do that for you.
Kind of being a bit better, new lease on life sort of thing, maybe. Is having, a good fist-sized tumor in your body a little disruptive to your, general process? I don't know. I can even sleep on my left side again. It's amazing. But no, it was really, really weird because it was just a few months after my surgery, I was just able to just throw it and jot some stuff down and write again, and just didn't have any trouble at all. It was just like, oh, okay.
Cool. So that's video number 2. I'm going to do one more video tonight just because, like I said, I have really missed this, and now is about the time of the night where I've been doing these streams. So I'll do one just to kind of loop people in to that, So I'll leave a link in the description. That's the Twitch. These will be live streamed if you want to interact with these. They'll show up ex post facto on this channel and then the YouTube. I should be able to live stream directly to the YouTube video channel as well. I have to kind of break them up, like I said, into smaller videos for BitChute. They don't accept videos over 2 gigabytes, and that means about 20 minutes, just a little over 20 minutes for me here. So that'll be how it's presented here. But if you'd like to have this in real time, and if you would like to interact and comment and share your thoughts and just rap with me about this media stuff, I don't think we're going to be reading SCPs anymore. I think that has been mined for all it is worth. Okay, thanks.